Chelsea is not going anywhere. I'm happy about it. There's no reason for me to be emotional about it because I'm not a Chelsea fan. One of the things I actually pray for after I pray for my daily bread is actually that Chelsea should be miserable. And they to see them in this kind of misery actually gladdens my heart.
Pochettino has been fired. According to the club statement, it was mutual consent, which we all know is slang for he was let go. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo. This is Crossfire, and I am here with Tunde and Tosin to discuss if Pochettino's era deserved to end after just 1 year. Tunde, let's hear your views.
My thoughts of Pochettino are very, very clear, and I'm a Chelsea fan, so in case you didn't know, I don't even want to necessarily say it was a mistake, but it is the wrong decision at this point in time, and it is not even uncharacteristic of the current owners, the clearly capital Bluco, Todd Bowley, Baghdad Bali, whatever they call themselves. Mistake after mistake that these people have made since 2 years that they've taken over the club, and this is yet another mistake. Not because Pochettino is the best manager in the world, not because Pochettino is the best thing after sliced bread, not because I'm a Pochettino stan, because that's what people, anybody that has any good thing to say in his favor, that's what they tag you as on Twitter, but because these people have once again sabotaged the club. First of all, when you appoint Pochettino, there was no faith in him. It was just a case of let us see what you can do. They gave him a 2-year contract. So Pochettino came in to the club, a club that was completely reconstructed, a team that was reconstructed from start to finish. Like the team that you saw this season was not the team that finished 12th in the 2022-23 season whatsoever. It is a completely new squad of completely young players, full of potential. Potential, if you don't know, means that may or may not pan out. Not that these people have gotten to that peak. They are not even close to that. We don't even know if they will reach that peak. Look at someone that Moody doesn't even have peak. So, like, these are the things that you will consider. You have a squad full of Mudriks. Chelsea got lucky, got extremely lucky, got sent Obama. But you are not going to have a team like you want to eat your cake and have it. That's what this is. So you are not. If you say you want to build, first of all, first mistake that the clueless people in charge of the club, including the two incompetent directors that were appointed, Lawrence and Wayne Stanley from Brighton, brought Brighton policies to come and run Chelsea Football Club. You want to build a team from scratch, a team of youngsters, and you are spending £1 billion. The people that do it because they don't have money. If you have £1 billion, you are spending more than Man City to be like Brighton. Does that make any sense? No, tell me, where does that make sense? There's no industry in the world where Lawrence and Wayne Stanley will not have been fired. But apparently, they are Chelsea Football Club. They are the ones doing the firing of other people. So let us talk about the fact that Pochettino is gone now. That's why the fact that even though it took a lot of time for the team to get into their stride, and that's normal. I've already told you why, because it's a very young squad. It's a squad of players that don't know their left from their right. So the second half of the season, when the team finally started gelling, when some of the players started maturing a bit, that's why you can see Madueke, even apart from power, Madueke started to play much better. Mudrik's performances got slightly better. Like Jackson came into his own the second half of the season. Like all of this, that's what happens to young players. And what happens with the result? Chelsea won 8 of their last 12 games. Chelsea won their final 5 games of the season. If you look at the second half of the season table, Chelsea are 4th. That's how good. That's how much of an improvement has been made. Chelsea have finished 6th. So a manager that has taken a club that he met at 12 to 6, secure European football, got to a cup final, EFL Cup final, knocked out in the FA Cup semi-final to Manchester City. All of that is a sackable offence for this squad. I'm not saying that by Chelsea's previous standards, the standards are not Abramovich standards, are not standards at the club now. They're not Abramovich standards. By the previous standards, yes. But Abramovich also will not have set up a manager by giving him probably the worst $1 billion squad ever in the history of any sport. So, like, I don't think it's fair to the man himself. I don't think that he could have done much better. I don't think any manager could have done much better. The manager that could have done much better would not come to Chelsea in the first place. And that's Pep Guardiola and them. But any other manager would not have done better than what Pochettino did. And it's evident in the names that have been linked to replace him. So, me, I'm not, whatever wants to happen, let it happen at this point.
Well, Tosin, Tunde is surely fired up. Let's see, do you agree with him that he should not have been sacked, or are you of a different view?
Yeah, I do not have any allegiance towards Pochettino. What I do know is that Pochettino is not a winner. And at Chelsea, you have to be a winner. Now, let's look at it objectively. You talk about last season, and they spent about 500, because they spent about 460 million this year. They spent 500 last year, so that was 1 billion. This year, they spent 460 million. They brought in one of the most coveted midfielders in the world, in Caicedo. They brought in, obviously, Kopama palmed out well. They brought in Nkuku. Now, if you look at the investments they have made, following the 500 that they made last year for Cucurella, for Enzo Fernandez, and the rest of them like that, Sterling, all of them like that, it comes with an expectation. And most of these players, no disrespect, at the end of the day, most of these players, like I said, that's why I said Nicholas Jackson was not a flop when we had that discussion. Most of these players are on 8-year contract, 7-year contract. Who are they going to fire? Players on 8-year contract or a coach on a 2-year contract? Who is most likely going to be dismissed? Because at Chelsea, what I've known as a historian is that there are consequences if the results are not met. At least the expectation for the results are not met. This is Chelsea. We are making it seem as if this is a club that is known to fire people sporadically. This is Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea will have this. That means Chelsea will have 4 managers in 3 seasons. That means Chelsea actually will have 7 managers in 5 seasons. Am I lying? Because okay, they employed Pochettino. Before Pochettino, it was Frank Lampard that came to fumble the rest of the season. They brought in Graham Potter. They gave Graham Potter a 6-year contract. Who does that? But they fired him after 7 months. Before Graham Potter, it was Tuchel. Tuchel didn't even spend half of the season. Got rid of him. Who was there before Tuchel again? Was it Antonio Conte? Then before that was him Mauricio. Chelsea fire managers. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't need to be I watch football. So Chelsea fire managers. They fire managers on 7-year contracts. They firing a manager that has 1 year left on his contract. What's that one? Now, when you now even look at the possibility of Chelsea bringing out back a former legend in Jose Mourinho, who is a club favorite. The fans love him. I don't know why they love him, but for whatever reason they love him. He's available after his dismissal at Roma. He's available. Thomas Tuchel, after his disaster class at Bayern Munich, he's available. You understand? These are people that Chelsea like. I don't know why they like. It's not up to me, but that's what Chelsea people like. If they're available, Chelsea fans will always clamor for those people. And they never actually vibed with Pochettino. If you look at the hiring of Pochettino, the fact that they gave him a 2-year contract, it just meant that, you know what, you are a stopgap. You are here. If you meet the expectations, you use the next season. If you don't meet the expectations, you'll be fired. They didn't feel met the expectations. Chelsea spent, like I said, 460 million technically. Spent more than everybody. They finished 6th. For me, what actually made it, I don't even think it's about the finishing of the 6th. I think it's either he made Champions League football. I don't know the expectations categorically, but I think the expectations were you either make Champions League football or you win a trophy. One of the two. He didn't achieve. How do you lose that EFL Cup to a Liverpool squad full of? You talk about Chelsea players having potential. We don't even know what was in on that apart from Virgil van Dijk who scored that goal in extra time. I don't even know who the people on that Liverpool squad. I don't even know some of them. Bradley, Kwanzaa, some Javier Elliott, like who are these people? These are, and Chelsea brought you. So there are some certain things you can actually point that, you know what, as much as maybe some of these players need development. Like I said, I didn't see Nicholas Jackson as a flop. I felt he needed development. Caicedo is not going to be a flop. He needs to be utilized well. There are certain instances where you can see, you know what, this is a coaching problem. Coaching cost Chelsea the EFL. You can't tell me that Liverpool team that Liverpool paraded on that day in the EFL Cup final was better than that Chelsea team. That Chelsea team was almost what I think Gary never said something. Was almost the line of the parade was almost what 600 million, and you had a Liverpool team of academy players getting a result over them. So there are some certain instances you say this is coaching. Look at the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. Manchester City played on on a Wednesday. Played on a Wednesday, 120 minutes against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. Exhausted with their naked legs, tired legs. Came to London because the semi-final was at Wembley. Chelsea didn't even need to travel. They didn't need to book a flight. They didn't need to take the train. They are in London. They are a London team. They were in London there. Waited. Manchester City came. Now, Manchester City is a team full of quality, but how does Manchester City go into that game and actually outwork you?
Because Man City is a team full of quality.
Outwork you. So there are certain instances this season that you can clearly see. You understand that it's like this guy. Look at the progression of Caicedo this season. Is this what we expected of a player who was in a battle of tug of war between Chelsea and Liverpool? 120 minutes. Saying some Chelsea fans were saying that maybe Caicedo should go and play right back. That was how of a non-entity he was until probably the end of the season. So in my own opinion, I'm not a Pochettino fan. The only thing he has done was when he went to PSG, saw a little bit of success, but any manager will see a little bit of success at PSG at the end of the day. He's not a winner. Chelsea need a winner. They need to get results right now, and that's why they fired him.
All right, point made. So Tunde, what do you think that Pochettino's firing means for Chelsea next season?
First of all, what you just witnessed is the incoherent ramblings of someone that clearly does not watch Chelsea Football Club. Not by extension, doesn't even watch football outside of Barcelona. Because how you say Pochettino did not do anything until he got to PSG, when everybody knows that Pochettino's the crux of his work as a manager was at Tottenham Hotspur.
I said he didn't win anything.
Okay.
Don't misquote me.
It's all right.
Don't misquote me.
No habla español.
Peace.
Keep it in Barcelona.
Peace.
Let's focus on what's next for Chelsea. What is next for Chelsea is that we'll be back here. I give you 200, 300 days maximum. We'll be back here having the same conversation. What is next for Chelsea after they fired whoever it is that comes? Because the recurrent problem is the owners. Look, Tosin mentioned it. Yeah, Chelsea have a history of firing managers, but one thing with Roman Abramovich fires managers because the managers are brought in with a clear objective: win, and he backs you up with the resources to win. The Chelsea's new owner, whatever they call themselves, they do not do that. When they sacked Tuchel, I had a winner and Tuchel, a Champions League winner. You could have just backed him and given him the players he wanted. They don't want the managers to have an input over transfers. And because Tuchel could not work in that scenario, he left the club, or they fired him before he could leave the club. However it went. When they sacked Tuchel, paid him a 10 million severance, by the way. They went to Brighton. Is that a club that wants to win? You sack Thomas Tuchel, you look at the Brighton coach in 10th, you say, that's what I want. You brought him, gave him a 6-year contract. Is that winning behavior? No, don't tell me to calm down. Is that how to win? Gave him a 6-year contract. 7 months into that 6 years, you now sack him and say, oh, Brighton manager, why are you performing Brighton activities for us? They paid that 134 million. You see about that, they don't even link him to any job again. He's made. His life is settled.
Just go to his village.
He collected a 34 million severance because you were stupid enough to give him a 6-year contract and make him one of the highest paid managers in the world. I'm sure he thought he was being pranked when he was offered that job. I'm sure. You mean you want to give me more money than I've ever seen in my life to come and perform Brighton activities at your club? And yeah, sign the contract. When the last one left, who took over the club for Graham Potter? Bruno Sauton. Who is that? You don't even know. Me, I don't even know. I just know that this nigga coached Chelsea Football Club against Liverpool one time. We drew that match, by the way. That I left the club. After they went back and brought Frank Lampard. We shall not speak of him. In my mind, Frank Lampard did not happen. Because if you can go into a Champions League match against Real Madrid and play a front three of Kante, Gallagher, Havertz, God will punish you. God will actually punish you. Idiot. Moving away from Frank Lampard. After Frank Lampard, they now brought Pochettino and gave him a 2-year contract. Look, the point I'm trying to, I went all the way back to the start of Bluco to show you that there is no, at some point they'll say they want to build. Another point they'll say they want to win. Which is it? Because when their actions say that they are willing to build, and because they are Americans, Todd Bowley has a background in American sports. I follow American sports. Tosin follows American sports too. We have seen this template before, except Tosin is about to deny it. Teams usually shut down for like 6-7 seasons, in fact, at some point, just for the hopes of being good at a later time, and they continue to invest. That is exactly what Todd Bowley is doing. But he will not come out and still start gaslighting me, that I can see what you're doing. You now come back and say you want to win. If you want to win, you do not spend 1 billion on a squad that I can't point to a single super. You spend 1 billion on a squad. The most expensive player in that squad is a DM from Ecuador. How? That's not how to win. I've been a Chelsea fan for my entire life. Even the Chelsea's biggest flops, at least they were superstars when you signed them. It's not that I did not work out at the club. When Chelsea spent 70 million on Morata, nobody open eye and say why he spent, because that's Morata. Because it didn't work out, did not change the fact that it's Morata. When we spent 50 million on Torres, that's Fernando fucking Torres. It did not work out. But when you go and spend 80 million on a Ukrainian Pokoli, woo! And this nigga, like, woo! No, talk to me. Don't talk to me. Where is Romeo Lavia? They signed Romeo Lavia for 50 million. Lavia has not passed by the time Chelsea paid that money. Till today, we don't know if Lavia is alive or not. It's Wesley Fofana alive. This Wesley Fofana cost 80 million. These are the players that you talk about and say the manager should come and win. The owners are Chelsea is not going anywhere. As long as Todd Bowley, Bali, Lawrence Winstanley or whatever that one useless name is, as long as they are all in charge of the club is not going anywhere. I'm a Chelsea fan. I will be here to tell you that I was right, because I will be right.
Well, Tunde is obviously fired up, but Tosin, do you agree with him that Chelsea is not going anywhere, or maybe a new manager bounce will come around to give them a lift off?
Yeah, Chelsea is not going anywhere. I'm happy about it. There's no reason for me to be emotional about it, because I'm not a Chelsea fan. One of the things I actually pray for after I pray for my daily bread is actually that Chelsea should be miserable. But that's a different discussion.
Wow.
So it's obviously over the years as a Barcelona fan we've had our battles, and to see them in this kind of misery actually gladdens my heart. Now let's talk about what I said. Eventually he came over to my side that Chelsea have a rich history of sacking coaches. So we already justified the first part, that Chelsea sacking Pochettino is nothing new. It doesn't even have to be justified. 2. Now let's look at their future proposition. Now, when you look at the future of Chelsea, the future of Chelsea is bleak. But that has nothing to do with Pochettino also, because Pochettino was just there for 1 year. Now, he made strong arguments about the board, that runs in almost the organization of every football club. Me as a Barcelona fan, I'm angry.
Why?
I think the only club that is a top football club that will say they are happy with the front office, which is the front office, the people who make the decisions at the top, you understand, will probably be Real Madrid. Ask Manchester United fans today, they are angry about their club. Ask Tottenham fans today about how is their club going, they are angry. You understand? Arsenal fans, they are angry about they feel that they should still have made some effort. So most of the top teams do not the fans always feel like there's a disconnect between what the fans want and what the people in charge making the decisions, what they want to do. You understand? Now, the problem with Chelsea, why Chelsea is going to be in misery over the next couple of years, is that as much as people always talk about the 115 charges that Manchester City have to face, there have been allegations and there's a levying claim of financial fair play laws being broken by Chelsea, which is how they spent close to 1 billion in the last 2 years. Now, they'll have to answer for those crimes, which is going to be something I'm going to be looking forward to. You understand? The downfall, maybe they will have to sell some of their hotels, maybe even demolish Stamford Bridge. That's something that's going to make me happy.
Chelsea don't even own Stamford Bridge.
Seriously, why?
But maybe they'll have to go and play at the Olympic Stadium or something, just ban them or close half of their stadium or something, deduct like 25 points, send them to relegation, or whichever the case is. So the future of Chelsea is very big.
For a Barcelona fan.
From a Barcelona fan, Baba, we are building. We had one of the best stadiums in the world in the Camp Nou.
If you insist.
In the Camp Nou, we moved to the Montjuic. The Montjuic is better than Stamford Bridge, and that's even our cathedral home. That's not even when we finish this.
Montjuic is not Barcelona property. It's Spain.
It's fine. I said that's not even our own.
So why are you bragging? It's waiting me no be.
I said the Montjuic that we are playing is better than Stamford Bridge. Baba, the next thing, when we finish our Spotify Camp Nou, that's 110,000 capacity stadium. One of the biggest, state of the art. Baba, forget, don't compare Barcelona and Chelsea. We are not the same level.
You need some money because we are
not on the same level. Now let's talk about the downfall of Chelsea. Now, when you look at it, every once in a while, when you have the decisions they made, they have one good player. Technically, I think they've made 17 signings in the last 2 seasons. they were able to pick out one very good player there, and that very good player is Cole Palmer. Don't expect anything from Modric. He's not going to give it to you. What you don't have, you can't give. It's like no. It's the simple truth. Cake is not moi. That's just the simple truth. So
it's literally being cake. It's being cake. Cake though.
No. We know the cake I'm talking about. The cake is not moi. When you look at the other players, now I'm someone who believes in the potential of Nicolas Jackson. That's why I said he's not a flop. But I believe in the potential of Nicolas Jackson 5 years from now, when he's 25. Not in the next
5 years or he's not.
He's 21. He's 21. In 5 years from now, he's 26. Sorry, I said 25. Yeah, that's what I believe. Other players like Maling Sarr. What's the name of this one that they signed for? Romeo Lavia. Those ones, they are going to the treatment table. I talked to you about Mason Mount. The last episode we talked about flops. These are people who are also not when they are done with the treatment table, they have to go and see the gynecologist. Because me, I still believe it's still something very wrong with them.
What do you think a gynecologist does?
Like I said, they have to go and see the gynecologist. It's a stomach problem. They have to go and see the gynecologist. It's a stomach problem. You have the likes of Nkuku. That's a stomach problem. Go and see the gynecologist. You have Fofana. Another guy and see the gynecologist. That's a stomach problem. Who is there again? Thiago Silva is leaving. That's very fair. Reece James, another injury-prone player. Go and see the gynecologist. That's a stomach problem. All of these players are going to be visiting the hospital, visiting the gynecologist year after year, season after season, until what Chelsea brags about as the pride of London, until they are crestfallen, until their fans feel intimidated wearing that blue jersey on the streets. When their fans actually are sober, that is when we will actually now. Some of us who have actually been praying for the downfall of Chelsea over these years, some of who have actually been praying that the pride that they have, it should be reduced. And over the next couple of seasons, we are going to see that in fruition.
Well, it seems like we have a miracle. For the first time ever, Tunde and Tosin have managed to agree on a single point. That is, Chelsea's future looks a little bit bleak. But maybe you guys have a different opinion. Maybe you are thinking that the new manager might come in and make a difference. Who knows? You can let us know in the comment section below. I am Anushilo, Jimmy Anushilo. This is Crossfire, brought to you by Bet Bonanza. High odds, fast payout.